28th, 2025 business meeting is now called to order. Will all who are able please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call to establish a quorum?
Vice President Cuneo,
Here.
Director Beaver,
Here.
Director Suda,
Here.
Director Sartorius,
Here.
Director Asner,
Here.
Director Nelson,
Here.
President Meeks.
Here. A quorum being present, welcome to the business meeting. I now invite Chief of Communications, Jennifer Henry, to the podium.
Good evening, President Meeks, Board of Education, Dr. Macklin. I'm Jennifer Henry, Chief of Communications. Tonight, we would like to recognize the dedication and commitment of our Board of Education to the growth, learning, and strong governments that you have committed. As volunteers, board members spend many hours preparing for meetings, reviewing information, and engaging in meaningful discussions to drive our district forward. They're also committed to their own professional growth, both individually and as a team. Earlier this year, the board set a goal to earn the Missouri School Board Governance Team Award, which they plan to apply for in January. This evening, we're proud to celebrate individual achievements in their professional development. Director Aaron Beaver and Director LaToya Nelson have completed their required initial training and have earned the essential certified board member status. In addition, President Carmen Meeks and Director Joe Sartorius have fulfilled the requirements to achieve the advanced certified board member status. In recognition of your achievement, we would like to present you with certificates for your accomplishment from MSBA. And if you could, please join me up front and we'll do a photo. Thank you. Rest of the board, if you would like to stand behind them.
Yeah, they want to.
Yeah, that's right.
One more. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you. All right, the Board of Education welcomes and values public comment as an essential part of our democratic process and an opportunity to hear directly from members of our community. This forum allows for a diversity of perspective, experiences, and ideas, each of which contributes to the ongoing dialogue that helps share our district's future. While we recognize that individuals may speak with conviction and interpret truth through the lens of their most favorable to their own experience or position, we encourage all listeners to receive these remarks with thoughtful discernment and respect, and we encourage all speakers to provide these remarks in the same manner. As a board, we remain steadfast in our commitment to the principles that guide our governance: consistency in our actions, transparency in our decisions, and an unwavering dedication to our North Star, placing student success first in all that we do while still maintaining our fiscal responsibility. As per norm, up to 30 minutes of each Board of Education business meeting will be set aside to hear public comments. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes to address any agenda item that is from the posted agenda. No confidential or personnel-related topics are allowed. So that as many people as possible may speak, time limits will be strictly observed. Unused time will not be yielded to other speakers. Speakers will be invited to the microphone or requested to have comments read will be done in the order in which the requests were received. The district received far more than 10 requests for this evening. As there are more submitted comments than time allows, those submitted comments will be later reviewed by the board and will be posted as a part of the meeting minutes. I now ask the board secretaries to begin either reading the public comments submitted or inviting those who indicated a preference to read their own comments to the podium.
Thank you, President Meeks. The first letter was asked to be read, Laura Shack. To the SSD Board of Education, I am writing today not out of anger, but out of deep concern and disappointment. I speak not only for myself, but for many of my colleagues, teachers, and support staff who serve tirelessly, especially in the North County side of the district. We have remained dedicated despite growing feelings of being used, overlooked, and underappreciated. Over the past year, several decisions handed down by the district have compounded an already overwhelming workload. Teachers are increasingly overworked due to the growing demands placed on them, especially when supporting students with special needs. One major contributor is the transition to the new Charting the Life course standards, which requires rewriting IEPs to align with these updated frameworks. This process is far more than just paperwork. It involves writing detailed, individualized education plans, creating slideshow presentations for each IEP meeting, reaching out to various outside agencies for information and participation, and collecting multiple data points to tailor each plan to a student's unique needs. In addition, teachers are expected to maintain and frequently update a highly detailed 5-minute schedule, which the district now requires to include the initials of each student being served during every class period. The intent may be to ensure accountability, but the message we receive is that our professionalism and work ethic are not trusted. We are now asked to document in 5-minute increments every moment of our day to prove we are working when in fact we never stop. At the high school level, the workload intensifies with additional responsibilities such as transition planning, college applications, writing recommendation letters, developing job skills, and managing the massive amount of documentation that comes with these tasks. This cumulative workload leaves teachers stretched thin with little time left to focus on instruction or student connection, contributing heavily to burnout and job dissatisfaction. Our caseloads have become unmanageable. Many of us now support 20 or more high-need students, several with serious behavioral challenges. We are expected to collect specific, detailed data on each student in multiple formats. At the same time, we are supporting general education teachers whose classrooms now average over 30 students. We are stretched impossibly thin with no end in sight. I am a 10-year veteran teacher in the Third Florida School District, a district that has faced its fair share of challenges and controversy in recent years. Yet every day I show up. I walk into a building that is literally falling apart, one with outdated plumbing, persistent electrical problems, and infrastructure that does not reflect the importance of the work done inside its walls. Still, I give my all because I believe in the students I serve. What is happening to this district that was once thriving? 15 years ago, when I was hired by SSD, I was an energetic, enthusiastic, and proud to tell people I work for this SSD. I was honored in 2023 as the first education teacher to win Building Teacher of the Year at McClure North, an achievement that meant the world to me and shows my dedication to students. Today, I feel demoralized. I feel as though my job, my expertise, and my commitment no longer hold value in the eyes of those making decisions. It's a couple more paragraphs that will be in the minutes. The next one I will also read. This one is from Susan McClade. To the Special School District Educational Board, thank you for your service and dedication to our community. I recognize and appreciate the significant commitment and sacrifices you make as a member of our board. I am writing to you both as a dedicated educator at the Lindbergh School District and as a concerned resident and taxpayer of St. Louis County to express my deep concerns regarding the severe shortage of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in our schools. While our current SSD staff members are working tirelessly to meet the diverse needs of our students, they are being asked to do the work of multiple individuals. Although our building administrators have been proactive and diligent in their efforts to support students, the lack of qualified SSD personnel continues to hinder our ability to provide the high quality education every learner deserves. Specific examples. Number one, inadequate classroom support. At our school, one essential skills teacher currently is responsible for 2 classrooms while also supporting a substitute who holds only an associate's degree. This individual is being trained by SSD staff on curriculum implementation, data collection, and other essential instructional responsibilities, duties that require formal teaching credentials and experience. This raises serious concerns about the quality of instruction being provided. If an unlicensed individual is expected to deliver specialized services, it begs the question, what value do we place on qualified educators? More importantly, would this level of service be acceptable to your own children? Number two, loss of instructional time. Students are losing valuable instructional time as special education teachers are increasingly tasked with responsibilities outside their primary roles. For instance, staff members are being asked to participate in MTTS, multi-tiered systems of support meetings, an initiative that should fall within the scope of general education. However, special education personnel are being heavily relied upon, despite these duties not being accounted for in their caseloads. This not only creates additional work for teachers, but also diverts them from their core responsibility, delivering high-quality instruction to their students. When SSD services are insufficient or delayed, all students are impacted. Inclusive, well-supported classrooms are foundational to a strong educational environment, and we must ensure that every child receives the resources and support they are entitled to. I urge you to take immediate action to address these staffing challenges. Our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and must be treated as a county-wide priority. They deserve nothing less than a fully supported and effective educational experience. This message is being sent. A lot of these say these. It's a caveat, so I'll read this once, but not for every letter. This message is being sent under Article 1, Section 9 of the Missouri Constitution, which affirms our right to reach out to decision makers, and Section 105.055 of the revised Missouri statutes, which permits robust discussion of district operations without fear of retaliation. Thank you for your attention to this critical issue. The third comment will be read from the individual. I invite Sarah Pertel to speak.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Hurdle, and I have proudly served as a paraprofessional at Oakville Elementary School for the past 6 years. I am also a parent of a child who graduated with SSD supports. First, my team and I would like to thank you for your service and dedication to our community. I am here tonight on behalf of the special education team at Oakville Elementary School in the Melville School District to share our growing concerns regarding the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff at our school. Our current SSD staff is going above and beyond to meet student needs, but we are so critically understaffed that the safety and well-being of our SSD students, general education students, and staff have become serious concerns. At present, Oakville Elementary serves 51 students receiving special education services. We have 4 teacher-level positions, one of which is currently filled by a long-term substitute teacher. We have 7 paraprofessional positions, one of which is also filled by a substitute. We were recently granted an additional substitute due to an influx of students, yet we still remain short on adult support IEP minutes, even with this temporary help. Our paraprofessionals currently support 2 to 3 high-need students each within the general education settings. When a student elopes or escalates into severe behaviors such as hitting, kicking, scratching, or biting, both staff and other students are impacted. And the remaining students we are assigned to no longer receive the support they require. Many of our SSD students are now regressing both academically and behaviorally due to the lack of consistent and trained staff. In our self-contained classrooms, our teachers are often alone with 5 to 7 high-needs students. They must manage toileting and health needs, de-escalate behaviors, and teach curriculum simultaneously, an unsustainable situation that puts staff and students at risk. Our team is mentally and physically exhausted. No number of emails, meetings, or administrative visits can fully convey the emotional and physical toll this is taking on our staff and school community. Paras regularly miss lunches and breaks to respond to crisis calls or assist teachers with the basic student needs. When staff are tied up with one crisis, they often miss their scheduled time with their other students. Our special education, ABA, and speech language rooms have become overflow spaces for students due to behavioral escalations due to lack of available staff. We currently have over 3,000 adult IEP support minutes per week that are not being covered, leading to significant student regression. When students are not provided with the SSD services outlined in their IEPs, the impact is felt by every learner. Inclusive and well-supported classrooms benefit all students, and children deserve nothing less. We are asking the board to take action to ensure our schools have the qualified staff and resources needed to deliver the high-quality education our students are entitled to. Our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and must be treated as such. Thank you.
The next comment is from Megan O'Brien. Dear board members, thank you for your service and dedication to our school community. Your work as unpaid volunteers to support and defend our school districts does not go unnoticed and should not be taken lightly. You are appreciated. My name is Megan O'Brien, and I am a general education teacher in the Webster Grove School District. I would like to share my concerns about the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in my school. I hope that it goes without saying that the current SSD staff members in our school district are going above and beyond to meet the needs of our students. They are some of the most capable, dedicated, and caring professionals that I have met in my life. They are constantly sacrificing to support the needs of our most vulnerable learners, whether by giving up lunch or plan times to fill in classes or paraprofessional duties, staying late or showing up early to document goal progress and behavior needs, or just constantly and consistently supporting us general education teachers within our classrooms. To ask for more support and to be told that they are fully staffed and operating as expected is a next level slap in the face. These certified, qualified professionals are drowning, and instead of being thrown a lifeline, they are being pushed further and further underwater. At my school, Hickson Middle, we have SSD teaching positions that are currently being filled indefinitely by substitute teachers. Students should be getting minutes from trained and consistent professionals, instead are receiving their main source of curriculum education from a rotating group of temporary teachers who may or may not be familiar with their needs, their cases, and even the curriculums being taught. Students who need paraprofessional support to access their education are being left out on their own because there simply is not enough staffing to accommodate them. Not only is that illegal, but it also is doing a massive disservice to children who just want an equal and fair education. When students are not provided the SSD services they need and deserve, the impact is felt by all learners. Inclusive and well-supported classrooms benefit every student, and our children deserve nothing less. Please take action to ensure our schools have the staff and resources necessary to provide the high-quality education our students are entitled to. Our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and should be a priority for the entire county. Thank you, Ms. Megan O'Brien. The next one I am to read is from Cindy Fry. Dear board members, thank you for your service and dedication to our community. I am writing to you as an SSD educator and a St. Louis County resident and taxpayer to share my concerns about the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in our schools. Our current SSD staff are people going above and beyond to meet student needs, but they cannot do the work of more people. While our building administration has been working diligently to ensure students are supported, the shortage of qualified SSD staff makes it increasingly difficult to meet the diverse needs of our learners. Presently, my schedule is a mess, and although it is only October, I am running 3 groups for 1 hour. 2 of the groups are 4th and 5th reading, and the other is 3rd grade writing. My students come in staggered. At 2:15, I have a replacement 5th grade reading. They are at 1st grade level. At 2:30, I get 4th grade reading. At 2:45, I get the 5th grade resource readers plus 2 or 3 3rd grade writers, depending on the day. I have only 15 minutes when I actually have only 1 group. I cannot use a SSD curriculum because I cannot work for an hour or even a half hour with any part of the group without ignoring the others. On top of that, I have a student who's constantly having behavior problems and a student who has only been in the country for 6 weeks and he speaks Russian. I have to use my phone and Google Translate to understand him while trying to calm a dysregulated student who is running around and bothering students, plus teach 1, 2, or 3 groups at the same time. I cannot have a para because I am a resource teacher and I should be able to manage all this at once by myself. When the reading specialist came in to help me, one of the first times she asked was if I could change my schedule. I explained that I could not, and I was already on my 2nd schedule. She said, well, you have them grouped right. I hope people realize that there is no way I can meet the needs of my 11 students that come to me from 2:15 to 3:15. Also, I am teaching a 3rd grade replacement math while I am teaching 3rd grade replacement math while I am teaching 5th replacement and 5th resource math. I have never had a year like this. I really thought that SSD would meet the needs of their students, but it seems as long as we provide the correct minutes, that is all that matters. I have been working daily from 7:30 to 5 on school days. I work on the weekend anywhere from 8 to 16 hours, and I'm still not caught up with all the paperwork. I just spent Monday, my day off, working from 7 to 4:30, and I am not completely done with my progress reports or my student talent ed, and have not even started lesson plans. These plans take longer to make now because I do not have a curriculum and need to search the web to find activities or find gen ed activities that are close enough to my students' level to adopt. I am so tired, very tired this year. I cannot take care of myself. I do not feel good about how I have to teach this year. I heard we need to cut another $50,000 from the budget next year. When will it end and at whose expense? When the students are not provided the SSD services they need and deserve, the impact is felt by all. Inclusive and well-supported classrooms benefit every student, and our children deserve nothing less. Please take action to ensure our schools have the staff and resources necessary to provide the high-quality education our students are entitled to. One sentence: our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and should be a priority for the entire country. I now invite Cassie Rushing to the podium.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Macklin. My name is Cassie Rushing, and I am an SSD teacher in Partner District in Bentonville. I'm here to speak honestly about what is happening inside of our schools. And I'm sorry if I have a shaky voice. I again didn't get a lunch or plan today, which is not out of the norm. I want to talk about what not only looks good on paper, but what's actually happening in our schools with our students and our staff in the district. Since the launch of the Riding the Ship initiative, I've heard the same message repeated. SSD is on a strong financial path, and there's no staffing shortages. But let me be clear. That's not true in any of our schools. We are living the shortage every single day. We are short paras, we are short subs, and we are short teachers. We are covering positions that no longer exist, managing caseloads of students whose needs far exceed the resources available to us, and watching the needs of students grow while our support systems shrink. We are begging for help, and we are not being heard. We send emails, we write lists, we meet, we problem solve, and yet nothing changes. Our words are acknowledged, but not validated. It feels as though our decisions are being made far away from the classroom. They affect most. And those of us standing in front of the students every day are left carrying the weight alone. We may be riding the ship financially, but we're wronging the students and our staff in the process. The classrooms that were once manageable are now running on fumes. The workload is unsustainable. Educators are leaving, not because they don't care, but because they are physically and emotionally can't keep up what is happening with the demand that is being placed on them. I implore this board to step out of the boardroom and get into our schools. Don't schedule a tour, don't give notice, just show up. Sit into one of our classrooms for a full class period. See what's happening. See what it takes to keep our students safe, regulated, and then learning. Listen to the children, to the paras, to the teachers who are holding everything together while trying not to break themselves. If you truly believe there are no staffing shortages, come see for yourself. Because where I stand, it feels like we're taking on water fast. And those of us are still here or in bailing the water are running out of strength. The Riding Ship initiative may be costing the budget, maybe bouncing the budget, but at what cost? This board needs to wake up and face the reality of what's happening inside our schools before it's too late for the staff who remain and the students who depend on us.
Next comment is from Julie Hurst. Dear board members, thank you for your service and dedication to our community. And I'm writing to you as a Melville School District educator to share my concerns about the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in our schools. Our current staff, both SSD and Melville, are going above and beyond to meet all student needs, but they cannot do the work of more people. While our building administration has been working diligently to ensure students' needs are supported, the shortage of qualified SSD staff makes it increasingly difficult to meet the diverse needs of our learners. Our principal has been acting as a para to support students on several occasions. We have paras covering 2 and 3 students who are supposed to have one-on-one para support. Kindergarten students have eloped, and the para is forced to chase after the eloper while leaving the other students without support. Students are being left in the regular education classroom without support and without getting IEP minutes due to a lack of SSD staffing. SSD students are horribly frustrated by a lack of support and at times being forced to remain in an inappropriate environment. This results in screaming and behavioral outbursts, sometimes causing harm to other students. The other students are frustrated because they can't hear the teacher. Teachers are held accountable for ensuring their students succeed, but they are struggling to teach. This is not just happening on a rare occasion when someone is out sick. This is happening every day. This is the new normal. Teachers are at their breaking point. I am a reading specialist, so this situation does not impact me the same way. However, I see the tears of our teachers. I feel the stress in the building. What is happening this year is not fair to our teachers or our students, and something must be done. When students are not provided the SSD services they need and deserve, the impact is felt by all learners. Inclusive and well-supported classrooms benefit every student, and our children deserve nothing less. Please take action to ensure our schools have the staff and resources necessary to provide the high-quality education our students are entitled to. Our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and should be a priority for the entire county. The 8th comment is from Liz Fitzgerald. As a St. Louis County resident and taxpayer with a special needs godson, I am respectfully requesting that you read my letter below at the next SSD board meeting. Thank you, SSD board members, for your service and dedication to our community. I am writing to you as a St. Louis County resident and taxpayer to share my concerns about the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in our schools. The current SSD staff are going above and beyond to meet student needs, but they cannot do the work of more people. The shortage of qualified SSD staff makes it increasingly difficult to meet the diverse needs of learners. My special needs godson has had such wonderful school experiences the last few years due to the highly trained and caring special education professionals teaching and providing strategies to address his specific disabilities and diagnosis. Temporary staff without proper education will not be able to meet those needs. It has come to my attention that special education teachers are sustaining frequent injuries due to not having staff who are able to perform NCI interventions. When students are not provided the SSD services they need and deserve, the impact is felt by all learners. Inclusive and well-supported classrooms benefit every student, and our children deserve nothing less. Please take action to ensure our schools have the staff and resources necessary to provide the high-quality education our students are entitled to. Our students' learning conditions are a matter of public concern and should be a priority for the entire county. The next one is from Cynthia Patton. Good evening, school board members, Dr. Macklin, esteemed colleagues, and community members. I am Cynthia Patton, an education specialist and special educator at Hazelwood West High. I am currently a parent-teacher at parent-teacher conferences, continuing my commitment to my students and families, so I am grateful for the board for this opportunity to have my perspective read. I have dedicated my career to education, and though I am nearing the age of retirement, I feel compelled to address the challenges facing the district. As a building representative for the SDNEA, I have firsthand knowledge of the immense pressures my colleagues are facing. I am just one of the many voices searching for help. My special education caseload this year has increased by 5 students, each with unique needs. Imagine adding 5 teenagers to any area of your life, and you might understand the impact that has on my workload and stress level as I strive to continue to provide the quality of services my students need to be successful. This is the reality facing many teachers, and it is overwhelming. In seeking a resolution, I have followed established protocols. I regret to report that my conversations with administrators have been discouraging. I have heard from 4 leaders who have also expressed feeling overwhelmed. 2 share that they have had to use sick days to complete administrative tasks and have been pushed to tears by the stress. I was also informed that as a salary employee, my extra hours are expected beyond our contractual time. I've already exhausted my extra time by starting an hour early daily, working through lunch, taking work home, and attending to clerical work during my other aspects of my personal and professional life. This kind of workload impacts my well-being and is leading to a system that is in decline. The current cycle is predictable and devastating. Administrators set unrealistic expectations, teachers quit, and the remaining staff is burdened with the work of those who left. Students and teachers suffer together. The only way to break this cycle is for leadership to recognize and to commit to change. We as educators chose this path to make a difference. We are inspired by the heroes who came before us, as well as committing to a legacy for educators to come. Dr. Macklin, you shared that your mother as a teacher was your inspiration. My father a lifelong educator is mine. The question I now ask you and the board is an ethical one. Would you want your hero to be treated this way? Furthermore, would you want your own child to work under the conditions that now define teaching at SSD? It is time for leadership to recognize this reality and commit to finding creative solutions. We need more than empathy, we need action. My suggestion for immediate support is to empower our SDNEA representatives by engaging in collaborative and respectful negotiations. They have identified the core issues and are ready to work toward a better solution for everyone. You can't right the ship if your crew isn't on board. The final comment tonight is from Corey Hackett. Dear board members, thank you for your service and dedication to our community. I am writing to you as a special education paraprofessional and as a St. Louis resident and taxpayer to share my concerns about the lack of adequately trained and experienced SSD staff in our schools. Even with trained staff, we are still short in the number of staff that are needed. Our current SSD staff are going above and beyond to meet student needs, but they cannot do the work of more people. I have worked at special school district for 20 years within the Lindbergh School District. In those years, I have never had a year of being as short-staffed as we have been this year and last. We have students that are missing IEP minutes daily. We have students missing gen ed time due to not having the appropriate staff in it. We have students with high behaviors paired with other students with high behaviors with one para in a general education classroom. My SSD teacher is alone daily in the classroom with students with high behaviors. This could be up to 8 students. Out of those 8 students, at least half of those students have high behaviors. This is unacceptable. Staff are often late to students or miss students entirely due to being with a student or students with high behaviors. When you do not have adequate staff to work through these behaviors, the behaviors increase. When you do not have the adequate staff to work through these behaviors, other students are missing direct instruction or para support. When a student is left unattended in a gen ed setting, this disrupts the entire classroom and the gen ed teacher is left to handle behaviors at that time. I understand that our end goal is to have a student not need adult support, but until those behaviors are under control, it is too much for a gen ed teacher to handle those behaviors and their class of students as well. This is unacceptable. We have students who need help toileting without having appropriate staff. We are often in the restrooms alone with the door propped open. This is unacceptable. For safe schools, staff should never be alone with a student in the restroom. We have students in pull-ups that are often soaking through their pull-ups or sitting in feces because we don't have the staff to take them in a timely manner. This is unacceptable. We cannot take the time to properly help students with toilet training because we don't have the staff. Does say this is not unacceptable, but I believe that's incorrect. Being in a partner school district, gen ed kids are noticing when our students are having bathroom issues. Our students are often being laughed at because of this. This is unacceptable. Area coordinators have a big job. Part of that job is supporting their staff. This is not always the case. When you are in the buildings of your staff, you need to be visiting those classrooms, not just what is needed. Sorry, not just asking what is needed. When you have ACs texting you from your building, telling you to text if you need help, this is unacceptable. They need to be in those classrooms offering help where and if needed. When you finally reach out to your AC that you need help and she says she will be in the next day and then proceeds to call in sick for that day, this is unacceptable. When you have ACs that are not stepping foot in your classroom, they are not really seeing the issues their staff are having. When the director of special education for your partner district never steps foot in your building, they are not seeing issues that the staff are having. This is unacceptable. Several more paragraphs that will be in the minutes.
Thank you for all of those who shared your comments this evening, as well as those who emailed them. The board does not put them lightly. Is there a motion to approve the consensual items?
So moved. Second.
A motion and second having been made. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion to approve the consent items carries. We'll now proceed to tonight's superintendent's report. Dr. Macklin.
Thank you, President Meeks. Tonight, the board will receive 2 reports. The first will be Chief of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Molly Bolton. I will present the monitoring report. After that, the Director of Special Education, Stacey Sutterman, will come and update the board on SSD early childhood.
Good evening, Dr. Macklin, President Meeks, Board of Education. My name is Molly Bolton, and I am the Chief of Teaching, Learning, and Accountability. And with me this evening, I have Dr. Matt Travel, the Director of Evaluation and Research. And we are going to present our Missouri School Improvement Monitoring Reports. So just to remind you about these monitoring reports, it is fulfilling a requirement from DESE that we look at each program that we utilize in special school district and inform our stakeholders of those key indicators and the performance of those programs on an ongoing basis. The monitoring reports we have for this evening will be Summit Academy, which is our courts program, Bridges, early childhood education, as well as purchase of service. With that, I will turn it over to Dr.
Really? So you all seen this visual numerous times by now. This is just a heuristic that shows what's in the reports that we provide to you. So the tables that are in the reports include the name of the key indicator, a target of performance, with the data with trend over time, along with a narrative description that provides details about the indicator and sometimes additional information about the results that are in the table. So a common thread that runs through the 4 reports that are included tonight, or these are all programs administered by SSD that are instructionally related, but they fall outside or they fall apart from our core SSD separate school programs. The first one of these is Summit Academy. So the indicators that we use for the purpose of this exercise for this particular program are a credit accrual indicator along with several indicators of academic performance. So the first one there is probably the most critical indicator for this report. It looks at whether students that are in the course program are earning credits at a rate that is comparable to what might be expected of students at a typical high school. And so in 2024-25, the rate of students who were earning credits at that rate was 72%, which is encouraging. Our Bridges program is the second program, so indicators for this program focus on attendance and student growth and academics. Given the nature of the program, I tend to focus more on attendance-related metrics for this one. So we look both at average daily attendance, but also to give a complete picture of attendance, we compare students' attendance prior to entry into the program to their attendance after they've begun the program. So in 2024-25, 82% of students showed an improvement in attendance after entering the program, which is what we're shooting for. The next program is early childhood education, as luck would have it. Right after this, we have a presentation on the early childhood program. So I will leave it to Ms. Sturdivant to speak to the indicators in her report. She gives her broader presentation. So finally, we have purchase of service, or POS. So the purchase of service program coordinates with agencies who contract with to provide instruction to students. Those agencies tend to be better positioned at a given point in time to meet those students' needs. So the indicators for this program include attendance, the extent to which students in these programs are transitioning to more inclusive settings over the course of the school year, along with academic growth indicators. So the 2024-25 students attending POS collectively did meet the average daily attendance target, which is good. We also saw the highest number of students who transitioned to a more inclusive setting that we have in a couple of years, and they also met that target. It's also worth noting that based on an estimate in 2024-25, the rate of students across St. Louis County attending private separate programs. Looks to be at its lowest that it's been in over 10 years. So there's a chart in the report itself that compares the trend over time between private separate placement in St. Louis County and private separate placement in the state as a whole. What questions can be answered?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. Dr. Bolton.
Good evening, President Meeks, Board of Directors, Dr. Mackin. I'm Stacy Sturdivant. I'm the Director of Early Childhood Special Education, and I'm here to give you an update today on our program. Who we serve. The Early Childhood Department of Special School District does not serve all of the students in St. Louis County. We serve 14 of the districts. If you look at the map that is provided, you will see the colors are the different districts that we do service, and the gray ones are what we call our coalition districts. They run their own programming. Within this, we have 6 coordinators who work to support our 14 districts. And then in addition to that, we also have a coordinator who provides support for our deaf, hard of hearing program at the early childhood level. Some special considerations for ECSE program. Our students enroll throughout the entire school year. They are able to begin on their 3rd birthday. For some of our students who may have a late birthday in the year, this means that they may be with us for 3 full school years. Well, not full. They may start later in that school year and then they'll be with us for 2 additional ones. So they'll be there for 3 years, school years total. The referral sources that our students come from are parent referral. If a parent has concern or they may visit with a physician who tells them to reach out, they will do so. In addition, we have agency referrals. These typically come from the Missouri First Steps program. The First Steps program works with the students from birth until that 3rd birthday. So then they have a system where we work with them to transition them to our program if that is needed. In addition, we work in partnership with our school districts, and our parents as teachers programs are a very strong support for us as well. One unique thing is that we have our own set of early childhood evaluation teams. We have 7 teams who provide supports for our 14 districts. They are divided up to provide those supports in whatever capacity is needed. We have a team that we call our Head Start team. They go out and visit the Head Starts as well as other districts that may be assigned to them. We have all of the districts divided up. We also have a reevaluation team who will help with any programming needs or other items that may come up. In addition to this, we have some support from other teams such as the ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis Department. The blind and visually impaired staff provide support, as well as those who provide those instructions for our hearing and hearing impaired students. Evaluation trends. Our students are coming up to us as they're 3 and also from First Steps, and throughout the trends, they have been going up, and this last year they went down a little bit, and we are hypothesizing that could be partially because of that impact of COVID, where a lot more students hadn't been socializing and maybe they're starting to stabilize a little bit. And so we will hope that that's just something that we continue to see, that even though they do have needs, that they are being better supported. There are a variety of placements and settings that we offer for our students. We have students who may be served in their general early childhood setting, be that if it's at a local daycare in the community or if it's at a preschool in one of our school districts. We have our own special education classrooms. We sometimes serve our fragile students in the home setting if they are not able to come out into the school building at that time. The 2 settings that you'll see outlined in red are the residential facility and separate schools. At this time, we do not offer those placements at special schools. Curriculum instruction. DESE has approved 7 curriculum that can be used in the early childhood capacity What we see the most used is Project Construct, which is a framework that offers the children to guide their instruction and to utilize their interests and topics to help them to play and through that play to learn. Creative curriculum is another one that we see frequently because that one also has a component that offers some assessment. And so some of our partners may utilize that as well. We try to mimic what our partners are using so that the students have that consistency throughout each building. Enrollment trends, our numbers again have been going up. We did see a slight decline in enrollments this past year. And so as we continue to provide supports for our students, we will keep an eye on that. And that is what we utilize to determine how we assign staffing and where we will be providing those needs and services. As they just spoke previously, we have the monitoring report, and our report did show that there was an increase in the skill set that we were using. We utilize what we call the common assessment. That is something that we monitor the developmental areas across board, but for our department, we are tracking the literacy and social emotional areas, and we have seen an increase in that. We need each student to be present for at least 2 recording periods. There are 3 each year, so that we will be able to see if they do have that progress. And we wonder if this is a sign that our staff are using it with more fidelity, if our students are showing that growth that they're able to track and demonstrate. We also utilize the IP family survey data. We did see that there was 216 did participate in it, but when we looked at the full data that was provided, there were 92 of them that had to complete from beginning to end of the documentation. And so investigations have been submitted to determining why there may be some blanks within that data. For future work for our department, we are reviewing our current delivery models. We want to make sure that our children are having exposure, as we are only the special education providers, that they're having the exposure to peers, that they're having those opportunities of those peers. If you would think about it, the visual where you provide equity and not equality, we don't want to give them all the same exact things so that you will get what you need, but we want to give you what you need. If you are looking at that visual with the fence, if you need 1 box, if you need 2 boxes, if you need 3 boxes, we want to give you what you need to be able to look over the top, just like everyone else. Ferguson Florissant has also reached out in communication about the consideration of their early childhood program coming back underneath special school district. And so that is something that we are at the beginning stages of discussing and investigating. And we will certainly keep you all updated as the time goes on. What questions may I answer for you?
My hope is that when you all figure out what happened with the survey, that you can share that outcome with us. Get really excited about parent surveys, and when we hear what they say, that's a lot that are being represented. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank you for leading this work. Early childhood education is just so critical for our students. So thank you for everything you do, making sure their needs are met.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Okay, are there any further questions or comments from the board about ECE? All right, the board will now take up all action items. Is there a motion to approve 6.01, the FY25 June budget adjustment?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the 6.02, the FY26 October budget adjustment?
So.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve 6.03 additional nurse positions? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Is there a motion to approve 6.04 position modification?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve 6.05, the extended school year and summer programming? Staff,
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the 6.06, the input program monitoring reports?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve 6.07, Skills USA and Robotics Sponsor Stipend?
So moved. Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 7.01, the closed board meeting. I now ask for a motion to hold a closed meeting of the Board of Education on Tuesday, October 28th, to discuss legal actions, cause of actions, or litigations involving the district and any confidential or privileged communication between the district or its representatives and its attorneys, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting any employee of the district, and individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, and records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment, and preparation for negotiations with employee groups. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
This is a
Wait,
roll
no,
call.
wait, whoa,
Right.
whoa.
Roll call.
God, y'all.
Who was the second? I didn't catch it. Aaron, thank you.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. Can we roll call?
Director Beaver, Director Suda,
Yes.
Director Sartorius.
Yes.
Director Asner,
Yes.
Director Nelson,
Yeah.
Vice President Cuneo,
Yes.
President Meeks.
Yeah. All right, the motion to approve holding a closed meeting of the Board of Education carries. All right, I now want to open the floor to any board members to wishing to make any comment.
Yes,
Yeah.
was at a MSBA and I watched and heard Dr. Macklin and Molly Bolden present. And I just wanted to say you were remarkable. But more than me saying you were remarkable, there had a lot of people that came up and said you were remarkable. And the thing that I found most interesting is that a lot of people came up and said, how are you able to do this as a district? How did this come about? And what is the possibility of having this shared throughout the state? I thought this was an excellent presentation, and I think MSBA and the people there took it very well.
Great, yeah. I had someone come up to me afterwards and was like, I actually want to really sit down with our peers and individually figure out how something like this could happen. And plan to reach out to the district to learn a little bit more. I also enjoyed our time there, a lot of learning. It's a good opportunity to connect with our peers, as well as the districts that our partner districts and their board chairs to really, it's great professional development for us.
Yeah, I also attended the MSDA conference and support those comments. It was just a great opportunity to learn and grow as board members. And I too commend Dr. Macklin and Dr. Bolton for a very good presentation on special education. We are unique in really the country, in case that's something you didn't know, in having SSD to provide services throughout the county. So that was a really nice opportunity. I'm on the finance committee. We met on October 17th, and we are in the process of beginning our audit process. So far things are on schedule, and they moved the schedule back a little bit. So that's happening. I attended the wellness committee meeting on October 21st and really heard about a lot of good wellness initiatives that are happening in some of our buildings. And so that was really, really nice to hear the things that are going on. Staff wellness and student wellness are happening in quite a few places. I'm on the professional learning community steering committee for the St. Louis Area School Board Professional Learning Committee. We are going to be having a meeting for school board members and superintendents on the first Saturday in December. I think it's the 6th. And we are planning to talk about board superintendent relationships. So that'll be from 9 until 12. Keep your eyes on your email, board members, and we'd love to have lots of folks from SSD attend. It's another learning opportunity and another opportunity to meet with peers. And then last of all, I just want to give a shout out. A parent actually reached out to me, wanted to connect to figure out how to do a referral. And she said that she was just so pleased with the IEP intake process and wanted to commend all of the people involved. So I'd like to pass that along. She said that she was very pleased. Thank you. That's all I have.
I should probably can I throw one more out? I saw the autism, I went to the autism committee. And we're held now only 2 times a year. Before it was 4 times, one time it was every month. Now it's only 2 times a year. I find it very informative. The thing that I find interesting is I wish we had more representation parent-wise, especially from North County. So if we have individuals, if anybody knows individuals that are parents that have children with autism, especially from North County, I would it would be really nice if somebody would ask them to come. That would be real important. One of the things that I did hear there that I said that what I was going to bring up here is, I see Molly nodding her head, she was at the meeting, is that the circles that the police give out, I was going to push that. I think that's a great program, where that they put a circle depending upon the child's disability. And if, there would be loud noises or whatever, that the police would know this ahead of time, or the fire. And if there was a fire person, they would come in, they could help. And if we had people with physical disabilities, those circles might help. I just thought it was a fantastic program. Heard the county police were going to push it, or are pushing it. And just want to make sure that everybody here was aware of it.
Yes, I believe those are available in each county precinct. And so each precinct person would need to go to and get their sticker.
Yeah. I was hoping the PAC would also be able to push this. I thought it was excellent.
Any other comments?
All righty.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn the business meeting at 6:43?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and SSD Board of Education meeting is now